My 24M new girlfriend, 24F, cheated on me for literally no reason. Hi everyone, this is a throwaway account for obvious reasons. I'm gonna give a lot of details. I need some advice on how to evaluate the situation I found myself in. First, some background info. We've known each other for about 2 months, and we've been dating for about a month and a half. So, we quickly became good friends after we met and decided that we want more. Neither of us are strictly heterosexuals, and both of us have had all sorts of serious and casual relationships before. We talked a lot about what kind of a relationship we want, and, this is important, mostly because of her insistence, we decided that we want it to be exclusive in all regards. I'm more experienced than her in pretty much all aspects of loving relationships, as, according to her, she hadn't loved any of her previous partners, and her last long-term, 3+ years, relationship was outrageously toxic. The relationship we've had was basically perfect, and we agree on this. We're relatively smart people doing their PhDs in the same technical area, and we have more than enough common interests. We have talked about and done random stuff for hours without getting bored, made each other laugh all the time, listened to each other patiently, respected and emotionally supported each other, and simply enjoyed each other's presence even when we were not doing anything in particular. The sex has also been amazing. We were passionate, experimental, and quite shameless. I'm used to having open relationships, but having sex with someone else hasn't even crossed my mind since the beginning of my relationship with her. She also told me that she has had her best sex with me, and that she wasn't even really enjoying it much in her past, mostly abusive, relationships. We desired each other all the time and expressed how much we love being with each other. The thing she had with me, according to her, was her first, normal, relationship. There was literally zero issues in this relationship, and we were constantly saying that we were incredibly lucky to find each other. The relationship wasn't even fucking old enough to have issues. We even said that we might end up falling in love with each other, although we were aware that it was premature. We started using the word love more liberally at some point, but I'm not sure if we intended it in its literal sense. Regardless, I was envisioning a future with her. It was unlikely that the relationship would last long because of eventual geographical reasons, but even the idea of it was joyful. The cheating. She was out after some academic event, drinking with our colleagues. They decided to go to the guy's house to drink more. I knew the guy was interested in her and would probably make a move, but I simply trusted her to reject him because she was the one who got all jealous about my past relationships and insisted that we have an exclusive relationship. When they were at the guy's house, she started crying for some reason and revealed that she was in pain, and the guy comforted her. Later, she blacked out. The guy moved her to his bed, and he slept somewhere else. My girlfriend woke up in the middle of the night, found and kissed the guy, said that she's sober, and they had sex. I know the guy, and the guy knows us and the fact that we were in an exclusive relationship. According to her, the first thing she did when she woke up was texting me. She said that she stayed there, had sex with the guy, and she's sorry. Shocked by the news, I wished her good luck in the rest of her life by texting back and didn't say anything else. After calming down a few hours later, I called her. She told part of the story above and said that she will come to my place tomorrow to explain the situation. I was just purely angry and frustrated, but also desperate enough to still listen to her. She came to my place the next day, and told everything I mentioned above in detail. She said that she was indeed sober enough to make a conscious decision to have sex with him but has literally no reason as to why she decided to do that. According to her, she just wanted to do it and didn't think about me at all. She said she's confused, regretful, disgusted, etc. I was willing to believe all that, but as she also told right after all this that she invited him to her place to comfort her again yesterday, right after I texted back to her. She has mental problems and a history of hurting herself, so she was afraid of hurting herself again and wanted someone to care for her. The guy was apparently the first option that came to her mind. They didn't have sex that night, but they had sex again in the morning, right before she left her place to come to mine. According to her, the guy was the one who wanted to have sex, and she simply didn't resist. Again, she doesn't have an explanation for why she let this happen. I asked questions like, "What did this mean to you? What was missing in our relationship? What led you to make this decision?" Her answer to all of this is that, in short, there's no elaborate reasoning behind this. She just did it. She thought a lot about what she wanted and why she made this decision. All she could come up with that she has no idea. Let me also say that the guy isn't like some super hot French guy that'd be understandably irresistible. The specific situation wasn't like that either. It's just a random dude that showed her some interest and appreciation in some random context, both of which she already had. We also agree that he isn't even attractive. Let me be very clear. All the crying and emotional release aside, we sat down and seriously discussed all the possible reasons why she would want to cheat on me as if we were having a fucking academic discussion. We eliminated all options. She was crying all the time when she was talking about the details of all this, begging me to actually physically beat her and give her another chance, etc. Again, she was also saying stuff like she's disgusted with herself and that she's an irrational and mentally disabled person. She's indeed bipolar and takes medication for that, but I'm not sure if her mental disability had really anything to do with the situation. She's always been capable of making perfectly reasonable decisions. So, neither this explanation of her nor her decision itself makes sense. The present, she doesn't want to do anything with the guy. According to her, she's disturbed to see him. She still wants to be in a relationship with me. She's even okay with a one-sided open relationship where I would be the only one who could fuck whoever I want. I don't see myself just forgiving her and acting like nothing of significance happened. So, I don't think I can be exclusive with her again. I offered her a fair open relationship instead where she could fuck the guy or other random people. She doesn't seem to be interested in being with other people but is okay with me being with other people. Rationally, I'm fine with this arrangement. I still want to be with her in one way or another. The sex is still good, and I think I can adjust my emotional stance in the long run. But, emotionally, I'm still extremely angry, frustrated, and most of all, heartbroken. I find it hard not to barf when I'm in her place, imagining the random guy on her bed. I don't trust a single thing she says anymore. I enjoy a lot less when we're trying to have fun as a couple. I feel as if a particular darkness fills my soul when she says that she wants no one but me. I was getting more and more amused by her brilliance, rationality, and thoughtfulness before this. Now, I find it difficult to resist the thought that she's just a dumb fuck who doesn't even have a consistent idea of what she wants when it comes to meaningful relationships. I sometimes also feel like I'm the dumb fuck because I let her to continue to be in a relationship with me. I also blame myself for not being able to see her bullshit insistence on exclusivity, and for letting myself to almost fall too deeply in love with her. I don't know how to make peace with my current feelings. I don't know if my interpretation of the situation makes sense. I don't know if I can stop loving her at some point. I don't know how to deal with a broken heart of this sort. I have been cheated on before, but I have never been cheated on for literally no reason by someone I felt so close to my soul. I don't even have an interesting story about how I was cheated on in this case. Nothing about the case was interesting. Yet it happened. Thank you for reading all this. My question is, what do you think? How do I understand what's going on in her mind? Does my decision of offering an open relationship make sense? How do I deal with my broken heart without being passive-aggressive and snarky all the time? What do I do? We've known each other for about 2 months. Honestly, dude, just leave. It's only been 2 months. She's a terrible person, and you deserve better. Ex-girlfriend. Fixed it for you. That bitch is crazy. Fucking run. Don't open relationship anything. Leave her, or else it will affect you in the long run. Find someone better. I am sure there are plenty. Maybe the reason all her past relationships were so toxic is actually because she was the toxic one and everything she's told you about them is a lie. Maybe she's self-sabotaging because deep down she doesn't feel like she deserves to be happy. Whatever the reason, it shouldn't really matter. Bottom line is, if being with her is making you feel bitter and resentful, then you should leave her and move on, no matter how good the sex is. They had sex again in the morning, right before she left her place to come to mine. She showed up to your door to apologize with a fresh load from this guy, and you seriously want to have anything to do with her ever again? She will cheat on you again. Either A. She has a disorder and cannot help herself, or B. She doesn't have a disorder but will not help herself. Either of those is a bad partner. Don't be in a relationship with this person. If you want to continue hanging out, break up and lose the exclusivity clause. It's only there in name at this point. If she meets a psychiatrist, she gets a diagnosis, and receives treatment, maybe a relationship could be worth it. That's a minimum of a year of hard fucking work on her end, at least. She showed up at your place to reconcile right after having slept with him again, fully sober, just because he wanted to? And you took her back knowing this as a fact? You, my friend, have nothing but pain ahead of you in this relationship. So you had better lose all sense of self-preservation and self-worth, if you continue. My, M29, girlfriend, F30, wants me to help pay for her mortgage but living as a tenant. Girlfriend and I have been dating since we were 16 and 17. We both have dated no one else. Ignoring the 3-day girlfriend I had when I was 16 lol. We both started living together when we were around 19. Mostly everything has been great, other than the minor problems every couple has now and then. The support for each other, love, and just the overall chemistry between us have been great so far. The issue in the title popped up recently. For most of our lives, we have lived on rent and moved places every 1-3 years. This moving is mostly because of me, and that's just how I wanted to live in my early to mid-20s. I know it was stupid and expensive, but YOLO. We both finally decided to find a place and settle. All good up to this point. My girlfriend found a house she really liked and she decided to get a mortgage on it. When she told me this, I told her we can just buy the house if we both pool our money together. The ratio of the amount was about 70-30. She refused this idea. She told me she wants the house in her name and that she'll finance it. To be honest, I knew she would have a really hard time affording it on her own, and I did bring this to her attention. Her solution was that since we live together I'll pay her rent and that would make it easy for her to pay her mortgage and that I can use my money to help her renovate the house. Once we get married I can get my name on it too. Look, I love this woman to bits but I'm not stupid. I told her no. I told her that if she doesn't want to buy the house together, I'll look for one for myself because at the end of the day I also want a home. I could use that money to get a place and pay my mortgage. We talked about this in detail and she remained persistent on her way. She said if I want us to buy a house together we need to become Mr. Mrs., last name, first. We both initially planned on getting married in our mid-30s and we already have had conversations regarding that, so I don't understand her rush. It's not like I'm going anywhere. The only plausible explanation I have thought of is that she feels financially insecure because of our salary disparity. I asked her if that was the case and she declined. Other than this I'm blank. I understand that buying something this huge is a big deal, but her wanting me to spend my money on something that I won't even own is kinda ridiculous to me and to her too. I could tell by her body language when she asked me this. We have talked about this several times and we always reach an impasse. She has said some reason why she wants to do it this way. All those reasons are completely valid, but when I just reverse them and we look at them from my perspective, then it is me who gets screwed. When I talk about this, her response is that I can figure out something and will still be better off than if it was her. This one thing is causing a lot of strain on our relationship. I'm ready to compromise if that compromise is fair, but she not willing to budge has caused us to come to a stalemate. I have thought and tried every reasonable way to solve this but to no avail. Advice on how should I proceed with this matter. Kindly refrain from all the breaking up advice and calling a stuff. I don't know if this is the right subreddit for this, so if there is any other do mention. And #X200B. Edit. She hasn't bought the house yet and is planning to do so in the near future. The problem I'm having is that I want a place I own either separately or with her. I can afford it if I go the separate route. Her not wanting this but instead wanting me to live with her so she can afford her mortgage is my problem. Why should I pay rent when I can pay a mortgage and at the end build equity? I think I wasn't able to make this clear in the post above, so sorry about that. Dude, she just wants you to marry her. The mortgage angle is just a way of her trying to get you to propose. She rationally doesn't want to buy a house with someone who can't even commit to marriage. You signed WAAAAAY more paperwork for the house, bud. Homie, you've been dating for 13 years. What is stopping you from getting married and then buying the house you both want jointly? This screams that she wants you to commit before committing to buying an entire house with you. She's a smart woman, not buying a house with a man who won't marry her. That's exactly the advice that 50-something me would give her. If you want to buy a house but don't want to marry her, then move out and buy your house. That doesn't mean you two can't continue to date, although if I was her I would seriously be reconsidering your level of commitment. If you want to keep paying rent, why does it feel more painful for you to pay rent to the woman you love, but not to some faceless landlord? But the bottom line, you've been dating for 13 years yet you still don't know if you want to marry her? WTF if your problem? What do you think you will learn in the next 5 years that you haven't already learned about her? Shit. Or get off the pot, and let her find a man who will marry her. She wants you to propose before doing business with you. Maybe someone in her family made her doubt and ask her to also protect her assets. Can't you do it now for her peace of mind and still commit to have a marriage at 35? Hello, and thank you for your submission. Please take a moment to review the rules listed in our sidebar. For further guidance, please see our wiki. This is a bot message. I cannot respond to any comments. Please modmail us with any questions. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r relationship_advice if you have any questions or concerns. She doesn't want to buy a house with a boyfriend. She wants to buy a house with a husband. If she bought a house with you as her boyfriend, she runs the risk of the relationship ending and you would have legal rights to the property. Sounds like she is trying to protect her investment. You've been with her this long, you should know whether or not you see yourself marrying her. Your options are live in a house she has bought, buy your own house and live separately, or get married. After being together for over a decade, getting married seems like the most realistic solution. She's being smart. Don't get upset with her. If something goes south between the two of you, trying to rectify home ownership could be disastrous. I bought a condo myself even though my boyfriend and I had been living together for a year. He paid me his portion of the bills. Once we got married, I refied and added his name to the deed. I'm 22F. Pissed at my boyfriend, 23M, for letting my dog out causing him to go missing. My dog has been missing for over 2 weeks now and I have a feeling someone snatched him. He's a Labrador Retriever, B.C. It just isn't like him to be missing for so long. He's allowed to go outside without a leash but only with eyes or some sort of supervision. B.C. He could easily get snatched and he's friendly. The longest he's been gone was the entire day and when I went to search for him in my car he ran back home. B.C. He knew he wasn't supposed to be out for so long. I even put a name tag on him with my info so he could roam around on days I was too busy or drained to walk him. I'd just come home and let him out for a little. My boyfriend is well aware that I rarely let him loose and if I do, I always check on him or call out for him and he comes home. I'm pissed. B.C. I specifically told my boyfriend to stop letting him out alone while I wasn't there to supervise. B.C. My boyfriend doesn't know jack shit about how I trained him and he wouldn't listen to my boyfriend if he called out for him since they aren't that close. I have no problem with him walking my dog on a leash, not just letting him loose outside. My BF's excuse was always, I don't want him to be so caged up on a leash, and he seems way happier going on his own adventure and not being forced to walk down a sidewalk, or more importantly, he needs to use the bathroom and I don't feel like walking him. I'm pissed. B.C. He doesn't even live with me but thinks he can let my dog outside without me knowing. I would wake up in the morning to my dog being outside when he's usually the first one to wake me up with his tail wagging. My boyfriend doesn't seem to be that shook up, which is B.C. He didn't bond with my dog or known him as long as me, 2 years. In fact he seems like a weight is lifted off his shoulders and I can see it even though he tries to hide it by acting hurt and supporting me. I feel so depressed and it's only getting worse as more days go by. I look for him every day and do all I can to just have a sign. My boyfriend is starting to make snarky remarks like, "This goes to show who you really cared about." I reminded him that I got my dog after a serious assault that left me in need of comfort, emotional support, and sense of security. He said, "You don't think I can be that for you?" I can't even sleep right and he's complaining that I don't snuggle him or be as affectionate with him, even going as far to saying, "Can the dog fuck you?" We've had arguments over how he didn't fucking listen to me yet he helps to search for my dog only at night so he can come home to me while I'm vulnerable and feed off it, giving me false hope by saying things like, "I talked to a neighbor who said they saw him on ____ street, and I used to trust him." I don't fucking know anymore but I am angry. I know it's not his fault but he should have listened. I feel like I lost my baby and everyone else misses him too. IDK how to go about this. This goes to show how little your boyfriend cares about you or about the well-being of your dog. I would ditch him. You need to ditch your BF. Sounds like he was jealous of the dog and may have let him loose on purpose and I hate to say it may be worse. Yikes, what if he harmed your dog? He could have drove him far away and left him outside or worse even killed him. It's fishy that dog didn't come back. He would have been stolen by now since you let him out yourself before. BF is trash but also, you gotta stop letting your dog wander around without a leash. Even with eyes on him, what are you going to do if someone drives up and grabs him? Or if he bolts into traffic at just the wrong time? Or another loose dog attacks him? It is not at all acceptable to just let your dog wander free without a leash or fence. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you mean. If my girlfriend did this to my dog, I would break up with them because it is 100% their fault he left. He let him out without supervision. That's a big relationship breaker for me, and you said it's been 2 weeks. I would be saying, unless they come back with my dog, I don't want to see you anymore. I hope you find your dog eventually. Check Facebook, check your local community groups, check the pound, call the cops. My dog got out one time and I called the cops and they actually had him. Now since it's been 2 weeks, I doubt the cops have him, but they might know something. Worst case, they don't know anything, but they can be on the lookout too. Good luck, and your boyfriend is a dumbass. Ew, throw the boyfriend away. Why the fuck are you still with him? What a pile of garbage is he. It is his fault. He chose to let the dog out after you told him not to. It was a conscious decision. He could have took him out on a leash or opened the door and let the dog loose. He chose the easiest option for him. And it even made the dog he feels jealous of disappear. If he manages to calm you down and stay with him, it's a huge win. Don't let this guy fool you. You know that's what he's doing. Even if it was an accident, it's still his fault, and he doesn't seem very supportive now. You deserve better. Have you checked shelters, local vets' offices, and social media like Facebook and Nextdoor? I'd be upset if I were you too, but to be honest, it sounds like you were also being incredibly irresponsible with your dog. It sounds like you sometimes just let him roam the neighborhood? No leash, no supervision? If so, there's a chance that someone in the neighborhood got sick of it, either because they were worried for his safety or because they were annoyed by a strange dog shitting in their yard or approaching them or their dogs, and took him to the shelter. I hope you find him, but if you do, please stop doing this. Leashed walks only. Nobody wants a random dog running around. Update. My F27 wife, F27, wants to bring in a man. I feel pressured to give in. It has been a little while and just wanted to update anyone who might have wanted to know what happened. We both decided to hold off on children for now, as it is obvious we needed to work on our relationship before being responsible for a life that will bring added strain. As for experimenting, I gave in eventually. She did not have anyone in mind, so she let me pick. I choose an old friend, M29, of mine who I trusted. We had a few dinners with him and explained to him our predicament and boundaries. He was hesitant, but eventually he agreed. A few weeks ago we finally did it. It was strange to say the least. He was gentle, kind, respectful, and communicated very well with us. We used protection and birth control to avoid any accidents. Why was it so strange? Well, apart from having physical intimacy in a whole new way. My wife decided she did not like sleeping with a man, but I kinda did. Not enough to end my marriage. I only did this as a last-ditch effort to give us more time. But if we do end up divorcing, while I would never enter into a relationship with a man, I might explore the physical side a little more with one. But to fast forward to now, we are actually doing alright. We are in therapy as a couple and individually each week. She has broken down several times on how stupid she felt risking our relationship like that. We still have a long ways to go, and my trust is still a little shaky in her, but we have not yelled or even fought for weeks now. I am still sleeping in another room, and the last time we were intimate was during our little experiment. Now that it is over, I still have a hard time wrapping my head around the whole thing. I am still not happy with her. My feelings of a certain betrayal are still raw. Honestly, if anything else puts pressure on us, I wonder if we will survive. But a few things are clear. I do still have feelings for her, and she is going out of her way to show me she still loves me. We will most likely adopt or use a donor, not a known party, to have a kid if and when the time comes. Our relationship CSN never be as it was, but it still can be good. It will just take time to see if it can still work to begin with. Thank you all. I know I went against pretty much all of your advice, but I figured if we were over with, I might as well give in to this last demand and find out the truth for myself. Thank you. It's interesting that you define the relationship as doing alright when it has no intimacy and lots of resentment that had y'all sleeping in different quarters. Seems like the only thing you really have is the sunk cost fallacy. I almost want to say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It sounds like because you enjoyed it, it backfired on her and now she is worried you will bolt. Also sounds like she has decided to focus on the most important person in her life that isn't hurt. Win-win. Well played. It's still an uphill battle for her. Don't relent too much to quicken the potential health of the scar. Picking the scab just increases the risk of infection. I really hope she is truly trying and not just trying to appease you. For now. Keep vigilant, but do what's best for you. I'm glad it was a positive outcome, all things included. This is one of those situations where I have to ask, why would you stay with someone who needed to fuck another person to truly appreciate the relationship they had with you? That's not commitment. Frankly, she should feel stupid that she risked your relationship like that, and I have to wonder if she is only feeling that way because it turned out negative for her and positive for you. She pushed and pushed and pushed, and knew you didn't want to break up just yet over it. That's kinda coercive. I don't know why you'd ever trust someone who pushed you like that. I don't think you can ever trust her fully again because trust is not something you can repair it like nothing happened, but good luck I guess. Time to leave homie. Lol, you ain't even gay. Hello, and thank you for your submission. Please take a moment to review the rules listed in our sidebar. For further guidance, please see our wiki. This is a bot message. I cannot respond to any comments. Please modmail us with any questions. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to =r relationship_advice if you have any questions or concerns.